Okay. You good? Yeah? All right, so here we go. You can set yourself up a chart if you want. You can draw it later. The sign of the parent function of sine, right? Big 5. The x values are your like your 0, pi over 2, that kind of stuff, right? So sine goes from 0 to 2 pi. Yay? What's between 0 and 2 pi? Pi. Yeah. And then between 0 and pi is pi over 2. And then between pi and pi over 2 is 3 pi over 2. If you're not quite sure how to do that, just add them, divide by 2. So for example, to find the middle of 0 and 2 pi, you go 0 plus 2 pi is 2 pi, divided by 2 is pi. True? 0 plus pi is pi, divided by 2 is pi over 2. 1 pi plus 2 pi is 3 pi, divided by 2 is 3 pi over 2. Yay? Okay? And again, it's the big 5 because when you find the sine of x, so the sine at 0 is sine at 0? Sine at 0 is 0, right? Yeah. Yeah. Sine is 0, 0. Someone was saying 1. I was like, nope. Oh, okay. So sine goes 0, then 1, then 0, then, and then 0. Not sure. Refer back to this thing. Let me go back to here. Right? 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. True? Okay. I like to think of sine as a polished chariot because it goes like this. Right? Yeah. All right. Here we go. Sine starts at 0. So labeling the points. So here's 1 and negative 1. We got 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. Yeah? Okay. So just plotting those points like x, y values, you've got 0, 0 is right here. Pi over 2, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. And you have this beautiful sinusoidal curve. Repeat after me, sinusoidal. Yes, sinusoidal. All right. Sinusoidal. Because cosine has the same curve, only shifted. So, I mean, you know, that would be discrimination against cosines. Yeah. Believe it. All right. That's the parent function of sine. Always starts at 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. That's, yeah, easy one to graph. Cosine. Take a look at that. It's the same big 5, except cosine starts at 1. So it goes 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Right? So if you take a look at the parent function of cosine, again, it's the same big 5 angles. We got 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. But this time, cosine starts at 1, and then goes down to 0, negative 1, 0, and then 1. Yeah. Yeah? So 1 and negative 1. 0, pi over 2, pi, 2, and then 2 pi. Yay? All right, so this one kind of is like the fun part of the griffin. So, you know, you have to like go up and like go around a little bit, and then you stop, right? Yeah, that's where I like to think where it starts. Right when it stops, just before it starts dropping, and then I pass out every single time. And I still go on that ride. What? Yes. Yeah, blackout, you know. I can't see for a while. It's all good. Here we go. Still a great ride. I know. Well, no, I like black out. Like my eyes like lose vision when I get to the while I'm dropping. Because I'm still screaming? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So those are the basic graphs of sine and cosine. If you're like brand new to this, it's okay. It's okay. We'll take baby steps. We'll graph them. It's just five. It's just five big 5 points. All right. Here we go. Some easy examples. What? What's x over 2? All right. To solve one of these things, right? This is what you're gonna have to do for homework tonight. Is to solve all the other variations of them without getting too much shifty. Without getting too shifty. What happens when you divide that angle by 2? Well, let's see. Right? Remember that your sine has to be between 0 and 2 pi. So this thing right here, wherever it is, x over 2 has to be between 0 and 2 pi. Right? An inequality problem, yeah. So we have to isolate x. We have to get x by itself, and that'll change your range. Change your range, yeah. Right, your interval, I should say. How do you solve for x? Everything. Multiply everything by 2. 2 times 0 is still 0. X, and this becomes 4 pi. So we went from 2 pi to 4 pi. All that did was stretch that curve. So now it's like a big old curve, right? It went from 2 pi to 4 pi. So dividing the angle makes it stretch. Yay? All right, here's how I like to do it. All right, we need to find the big 5 points. Okay, we know we're going from 0 to 4 pi. Split the 0 here and the 4 pi. What was here? Yeah. Okay. And what's in the middle? Well, 0 plus 4 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. So in the middle you have 2 pi. Okay? Find the middle between 0 and 2 pi. That's easy. That's pi. This is pi. And between 4 and 2, 3 pi. Right? So find the middle, find the middle, find the end, find the middle, find the middle, right? Okay. All right. I know I'm drawing sine. This is why it's important to know the equivalent. Otherwise, it's a really lengthy process. Since we're doing the sine of all of this, right? It becomes it's 0, 0. Since we're doing the sine, okay. There's nothing else that's going on in that formula. Okay, so when we graph this thing, I'm still going from 1 to -1. This time my sine curve is going to be stretched out. It's going to go past 2 pi. So 0 pi, 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and then 4 pi. It's over there. Okay, and when you graph it, it goes 0, 1, 0, -1, 0. Like so. That's it. And it doesn't look that stretched out there because I didn't draw it to the same scale that I drew the other one. Like the 2 pi ended about the same distance, right? So if you were to just imagine doubling that distance, that would be stretched out to 4 pi. Right? Your drawing doesn't have to be to scale. What I'm looking for is just the accurate numbers on there. What do you think? It's not bad. Okay, what if I do throw in another number in there? What do you think? What do you think? Last one. I promise. Here we go. Yeah. What do you think that -3 will do to it? Right? The good news is there's no change in the x. The x is isolated, so it's still between 0 and 2 pi. Yeah. So that's awesome. That's our regular numbers, 0 to 2 pi. Right? And then pi in the middle, pi over 2, and then 3 pi over 2. Okay? Okay. All right. Since we know we're doing cosine, at 0, cosine of 0, and here's what I'm doing. Cosine of 0 is 1. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0, -1, 0, 1. True? Okay. Now what to do with the 3? Well, that 3 is next to the cosine, so it's add, subtract, multiply, divide. multiply. So the last part is the -3 cosine, which just means multiply -3 to your answers up here. So -3 times 1 is -3. -3 times 0 is 0, 3, 0, -3. Now, once your charts get like long like this, the only thing that you have to graph is the top and the bottom. That's it. The first part and the last part, and that'll be your graph. Yeah? Here we go. So, it looks like we have a maximum at 3 and a minimum at -3. Yeah? Same points though, 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. It's going to look like the same graph. But this time, my cosine is down here at -3. Yeah? 0 for pi over 2, +3, 0, and then -3 again. So what did that -3 do to my cosine? It flipped it. It also made it taller, didn't it? There's a name for that. It starts with an A. Amplitude. Amplitude. Yeah. Turns out that thing in the front right here, that's the amplitude. All right? It tells you like the maximums and minimums of the graph. Yeah? Okay. Now, I just want to practice pure graphing, just pure graphing. So the problems I picked out in the back of the book are like the simplest forms of these problems. The directions that go with it, not so simple. So all I want you to do is ignore the directions for these questions. Just find the big 5 and graph them. That's it. Yay? Yay. Okay. We shall continue our graphing adventure next class. Yeah? All right. It's going to be okay.